Healing! 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 Love I! Love I! Love I! Love you too! All of you. All of you. And I want to begin where the chairman left off. Douglas has not only lost his way, he has lost his head as well. And that really is the point, you know. Really, Denzel Douglas has lost his head. Because Watley made the point. Watley made the point. You have land. You are, according to him, asset rich. But cash flow, you got land. What Douglas said the other day is the most preposterous and ridiculous thing I've ever heard. He said if he had his way, which of course he got his way all the time, he has always had his way. And that is the problem when we are where we are in this country today. We have allowed him to have his way for too long. And he has brought us to this situation. But he's saying no, hear him. If I had my way, I would have let SIDF buy the land and hold it in trust for us. Buy your land, take your money and buy your land and hold it for you. It ain't good. The man has lost it. Not only his way, but his head. This is shame. But we recognize he was losing his head a long time ago, you know. When he went down to St. Paul's and went down with that lewd, crude behavior, we should have known that the man has lost his way and we should have taken care of him. The man has lost his head. He's a sick man. I never heard nothing in my life so ridiculous. If he had his way, he would have let SIDF take your land. Take your land. And take your money. The SIDF money is our money, you know. It is money from the sale of passports. And the land is yours. And he would use your money to buy your land to hold it for you. I mean, this thing is so ridiculous. To pay the debt. You ever hear anything like that? But before I get carried away with that, because I don't know, I don't understand how them reporters stand up in a place with Douglas, in a room with Douglas, and let him tell him them foolishness. The thing is a joke. He wants to pay the debt. His reckless, callous behavior. But I'm going to come back to that. Because it's easy, you know. If you have a debt and you got money, just pay the debt. You have SIDF money, our money. You owe people, pay the debt. Why you want to SIDF to buy your land and hold it for you? Hold your land. Buy your land with your own money and hold it for you to give IMF. That ain't good. I have never heard anything so ridiculous in my life. And the man serious, he ain't laughing. He's serious. The man has lost his head. And he's doing everything to prolong his term in office. For what? Douglas has done all that he could have done for us and for this country. It is time to move on. It is time for a new dispensation. It is time for a unity government. It is time for the collective wisdom of the people of this country. That is what the people are saying. That we want a unity government. Where we want all heads together. From every area, every walk of life. Bringing people together. Because unity is strength. Unity. 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 And don't forget that unity begins with you. And you. And you. And you. And you. Yeah. Unity begins with you. And don't forget, your future starts now. But tonight we are here in number 7 to support our colleague and comrade, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. So we have come to Tim's country. This is Tim's country. You know Tim and Tim knows you. You and Tim are like Siamese twins. Inseparable. That's right. That is what it is about. That is what it is about. And so, people from all over, number 3, number 2, number 1, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 8, we have gathered here tonight to support the Honorable Timothy Harris. And so, we have bring you special greetings from the people of number 3. We have come here tonight and we have brought with us all our support from number 3 to make sure that you understand that after the next election, which will be sometime next month, just after independence, it will be Harris again. That will be Harris again. And so, we want to say to you in number 3, telling you that in 3 and 7, old boundaries or new boundaries, it's going to be Harris again and Sam is the man. Old boundaries are new boundaries. But we will be dealing with everything. Just leave it to us. But we are getting ready for every eventuality. We're going to be dealing with things. So we want you to know that. We want you to know that. That is the fact. A minority government, an illegitimate government, an illegal government, an unlawful government. And that has been said by everybody who knows. Everybody. Everybody. But we want to tell you, as we come here to you tonight, with your support from number 3, to tell you all is well. And we are going to take number 3. And we're looking to make sure that number 7 is going to be Harris again. I want to tell you that some 20 years ago this year, this man, this young man, Timothy Harris, loving man, a committed man, a dedicated man, has spent the last 20 years of his life working day and night for the upliftment of this constituency and this country. That's what has happened. Truth be told, in 1993, Timothy Harris was on scholarship in Canada by the University of the West Indies. They were preparing him to head the Department of Accounting in the University of the West Indies. He said to them, "My people need me. My people want me. My people are in need of my services." And he committed that. He has sacrificed everything to make sure that his people are all right. A professor, that's the nature of the man. That is what Douglas got a problem with. That is what Douglas has a problem with. Douglas has a problem with anybody who is able and popular. Look how the man is spending his life. Spending his life trying to malign us. Nobody believed them. Nobody believed them. You understand? Douglas was trying to do everything to make sure that he hold on to me and Timothy. It is when, and we try everything to put the man on the straight and narrow. It isn't the want of trying. It isn't for the want of trying. There are none of them in there with the commitment and the loyalty to the people of this country. That is why we are here. It is our commitment and loyalty to the country that has brought us to where we are. We could have stayed there with them and draw a salary. But we love our country. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, land of the pilgrim bride, land where our fathers died. From every mountainside, let freedom ring in this country. That is what we are committed to. That is what it is about. That is what it is about the country. It is about the country. And so, but the truth will be told. All will be revealed. Douglas should be ashamed of himself, Douglas and the rest of them. Should be ashamed of themselves. We on this platform, the Unity platform, the PLP platform, we believe that our country needs us now more than ever. And that is what this is about. That is what this is about. So that is why we are here. We are here. We are now in a crisis, a severe crisis brought about by Denzel Douglas. Poor leadership. That's what it's about. The lawlessness of the man. The callousness of the man. That is what has brought us to this crisis. This crisis is a manifestation of Douglas' own callousness and recklessness. That is what it is about. That is what it's about. And that is why everybody who understands anything, everybody who understands government and politics and the law has condemned Douglas and his actions. Everybody, from the highest to the lowest. We had a former Chief Justice, Brian Alleyne. Brian Alleyne, former Chief Justice, said Senkis Nevis, no confidence motion should be debated. This is it here. Black and white. I won't come to that. That is the latest. It is not only Brian Alleyne. It is former speakers from all over the Caribbean, from Jamaica in the north, right down to Grenada in the south. Former speakers, people who know what should happen. They have said the motion of no confidence should be debated. Not only former Chief Justice and former speakers, former heads of government, former heads of state, former governor generals have come out and said that the motion should be debated. Legal luminaries from throughout the Caribbean, from at home and abroad, have said the motion should be debated. But as recent as today, those of you who are listening, Sugar City Rock and Win FM, you heard the Speaker of the Antigua Parliament. Right now, there's the annual Commonwealth Parliamentary Association meeting being held in Antigua. We got 2 representatives there. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, who is the former Attorney General, who is the leader of government business in the House, and the Speaker, they are there. The Commonwealth Parliamentary Association has on its agenda the motion of no confidence, and they can't make no contribution. They're helping me. Bye. We know the story good. I only lead in it, but everybody know it. That is why, filling in the blanks, that is why we know that once Douglas calls the elections, you're going to have a new government. Because the people are fully aware of what's happening. Can't fool nobody. I spoke to you about, I showed you the former Chief Justice. He ain't got nothing to gain. This is an independent man, a retired, one of the highest ranking legal luminaries in the Caribbean. Court of Appeal judge. Many, many years of experience. He didn't have to get in it. But he believed in service to the region. A region that he loves. But you know what is more than that? He's not only a former Chief Justice, but he's a former parliamentarian. This is a man who has served parliament, so he understands not only the law, but parliamentary democracy and processes. You can't watch it from a higher authority than him. But we have had here, I hope you all have had a chance to listen or to read Emile Ferdinand. And there are many more. Kenry Clifton, Keith Simmons, people from petitions and divisions all over the world are concerned about what's happening in St. Kitts. And so, this is what this is about. This situation that has been brought on by Douglas and his gang. All these people. But like I said, the most telling situation today was when the Speaker of the House in Antigua had that interview. You can't want anything plainer and clearer than that. That is a sitting speaker. She said her advice to the speaker is that the speaker should go and do what is right. She gave him the experience she had in Antigua, where when a motion of no confidence was brought to the House, once it was in order, she put it on the order paper and it was taken to the House. That is what the speaker is supposed to do. But, you know what is worse? Douglas has not only refused to bring the motion of no confidence to the House, but as if to add insult to injury, what has he done? He's talking about boundary changes. You have a motion of no confidence before the Parliament, which makes him 6 of the 11 elected members have said that they do not have any confidence in him, which makes him an illegitimate and illegal government, and well, we have to stop calling him Prime Minister. Economic paradise. We have to stop calling him Prime Minister because really, he is the honorable. He's a parasite, an economic parasite. Yes, man. That's what he is. He's talking about boundary changes. But I want you all to understand that we will be dealing with that on all fronts. We will be dealing with those on all fronts. Because what they're trying to do, they're not only trying to mash up families, they're mashing up communities as well. Because nowhere in the Constitution and the rules and the regulations give anybody any authority to mash up communities the way Douglas wants to do it. It is not only, it is more than gerrymandering now. It is doggy-mandering. And so we got to make sure that that does not happen. That is wrong. That is wrong, absolutely wrong. And we got to make sure that that does not happen. Really, really ridiculous. This, what Douglas, the only thing Douglas should be doing now is to call the election. That's the only thing he has the authority to do. The only thing he has the authority to do now is to call the election. Nothing else he's supposed to be doing. No boundaries, what boundaries? That is not for him anymore. He's lost that. And so we want to make sure that what happens now is that the people get an opportunity to make sure that there's a new dispensation, a new order where we could take back control of our country. And that is what the unity concept is about. That is what the unity movement is about. Taking back our country for the betterment of our people, all our people.
Making cruel, wicked, self-centered and cold. Many men in this land, many organizations fought for freedom and justice throughout the land. When they have power and authority, they don't give a damn about nobody. Prostituting the island to all and sundry, they peddling my people's right, exploiting, oppressing, less freedom, more suffering. I wonder how we survive.
We are in this country in a national crisis, and a national crisis demands a national response, and that is what the unity concept is about. It is a national response to solve our problems. And that is why we are part of it. That is why we have the PLP. The PLP was formed with that in mind, with that purpose. We intend to be a part of the unity concept and the unity effort to address the national crisis that we have found ourselves in at this time. That is what it's about. I want to say to you that the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party that is headed by Denzel Douglas now, the Douglas Party, is not the party that I was born into. He has lost his way. Therefore, the attitude and disposition and style of Denzel Douglas is something that we must put in the past. His style, his attitude, his disposition have left us with no other option but to seek a new way, a new dispensation in this country. The Labour Party that I grew up in was a model organization with exemplary leadership. We have lost all of that. It was that kind of organization and leadership that brought this country to the level of development and promoted and protected our democratic processes. Now we have lost all that. But we say we have not lost hope. We must keep hope alive. And that is why we are here. That is why we are here. I am sure that all of you here will agree with me that the land acquisition is the most significant and far-reaching act undertaken by any government in this country. The land acquisition. And now Douglas wants to say, poof, and we land gone. The land acquisition that we fought for, that we struggled for, that we sacrificed for the people, Douglas wants to dispose of that. We can't allow that. And that is what this fight is about. This is what this battle is about. It is about the patrimony of this country. That is what it is about. We have to hold on to our land. We cannot lose it. Before the land acquisition, we were landless people. And in 1975, we had Bradshaw. Under Bradshaw, we had a situation, but you know something? The initiative was Bradshaw, but that had the support of the entire country. In fact, the entire parliament supported the Land Acquisition Act. Both the government and the opposition supported the Land Acquisition Act. People in St. Kitts and Nevis supported the act. I am sure you all will recall that during the formal handing over, takeover of the land, They told you about Watley. Watley, who has said, that was a friend of Bradshaw, who has said that the land acquisition could be likened to Emancipation Day. Well, we stand here coincidentally on the eve of Emancipation Day. Imagine that. On the eve of Emancipation Day. Emancipation Day, as you all would know, is the 1st of August, tomorrow. And we stand here tonight on the eve of Emancipation Day to say that we want to make sure that we protect the patrimony of our country. We cannot allow our patrimony to be wasted away just like that. We have an obligation to future generations to make sure that that does not happen. Like I said, the land acquisition was an act by the entire country united together to make sure that the people could have land, not only for themselves, but for generations yet unborn. The Land Acquisition Act was hard fought and won for the people of this country. It was supported, like I said, by both sides of the aisles. And it was supported by both sides of the channel, both St. Kitts and Nevis. But more than that, the land acquisition was part of the 1975 election campaign that was put to the people. That was put to the people whether the land should remain in public ownership. The people voted overwhelmingly to make sure that the land remained in public ownership. Save our lands. That was the mandate. I wonder if Douglas does not understand that. That was a mandate given by the people of this country. That they want the lands to remain in public ownership. Well, you think that Tim and myself, people who understand the history of this country, people who understand the history of the labor movement, people who identify with the working people of this country, people who continue to work for the upliftment of the betterment of the people of this country, you think that we could ever support any act that will take away the patrimony of the people? We cannot do it. That is the real betrayal that people are supposed to be talking about. It is they who betray the people of this country. When you sell out the patrimony of the people, you're betraying the trust of the people. Those are the real traitors. But you see, some of them don't understand. Some of them don't understand. And some of them, they got a head in the trough so they can't see and they can't hear. Some of them are blinded. The whole head in the trough. They ain't only sucking labor breast now, you know. The whole head in the trough. They can't see and they can't hear. That is what this is about. And so that is why Timothy and myself vehemently oppose this land for debt swap. We know better than that. We know better than that. But what is more, you know, those of you who heard the presentation of Timothy and myself, we gave the options. In fact, we were telling the Prime Minister a long time ago how to resolve the debt problem. And if he had listened to us, we wouldn't have been in this problem, so. always want to have his own way. And we have allowed him to have his own way for too long. Allow him to have his own way for too long. But like they have a way of saying, to be right too soon is to be wrong. And we wanted to make sure that people understand that what we were doing is the right thing. And so, we gave him the options. In fact, when I spoke in Parliament during the debate, when people were asking for options, I said one of the options was to sell the lands to Social Security. Hold it in trust. Social Security is the people's organization. If Social Security has the lands, it belongs to the people. Social Security is an organization that's holding the monies, the pensions, and everything they have down there for the people of the country. I mentioned that. I also mentioned that one way of addressing the debt problem was to get the SIDF to pay down some of the debt. I said that in Parliament. I said that in Parliament 8 months, 9 months ago. We gave those options. Timothy came up with his options. We weren't only saying not to do what you're doing, but we were giving options, recommendations, and proposals of how it could be done. We were even giving proposals even before that time. But you want to tell you what is so bad? And the whole story is not told yet, you know. Because there's so much distractions and confusion. I've said already, you know, when Timothy and myself knew about the land for debt swap, the night before the Parliament. Parliament was the Friday morning at 10 o'clock. And we got the order paper Thursday evening. I was supposed to be the leader of government business. And they're going to the house with a bill that I know nothing about. I saw the bill the first time on Thursday evening. The rules of the order paper, the rules of the house says the order paper, you must be given the order paper 72 hours before. 3 days. We got it less than 24 hours before the Parliament. The lawlessness of this man. That is what has the country so. And it is an accumulation. This Parliament has been going on now for over 3 years. From February 2010. Without a deputy speaker. The Constitution says that when the House first meet after general election, the first thing you must do is to appoint the speaker. And the second thing you must do is to appoint a deputy speaker. The Constitution, it is written there. And 3 years after Parliament first met in February 2010, we don't have a deputy speaker. You see this lawlessness of this man? And people believe that this is a joke. People think this is all right. This is serious business. We are supposed to be a government of law and order. We are supposed to operate on rules and procedures and protocols. This man has broken every law in the book. He has corrupted Parliament. He has made the civil service dysfunctional. He has made the Labour Party dysfunctional. This man is just bad news. And really, this is what we are saying to the people of this country. That this is serious business. This is not a joking matter. This is not a laughing matter. Our country deserves to go back on the straight and narrow, like it used to be. Our duty as citizens of this country is to make sure we pass on this country, enhance and improve to the next generation. If we don't do that, we will be failing our responsibility and our duties. And so we want people to understand that that is what this is all about.
Who they think they're fooling? Wonder what they're thinking. Saying things that ain't so, as if we won't know. Taking we for papi show. Who they think they're fooling? All this double dealing. Setting back the country, making them a free. People open your eyes and see.
We say to you that these are challenging times. And challenging times demand serious response. And we say to you that the response must be a united response. And that is why we want to offer you the unity concept. We want to say to you that this is the way that we must go. There are too many things wrong with this country. And we say that it needs fixing, and it needs fixing urgently. So, we want to go back on a path of good governance. And some of the things we want to do is in legislation. We want integrity in public life. We believe that is important. Integrity is self-empowering. And it makes good sense for good order and good governance. So that is one of the things. We want electoral reform. We believe that this is important. We want constitutional reform. We believe that we have to improve the situation between St. Kitts and Nevis. Freedom of information. We want all those things. We want also an opportunity in how we appoint public officers. We have to find a new way of appointing a speaker. We have to find a new way of how we appoint the chairman of the Boundaries Commission. There are best practices around the world that we could learn from. We want to find a way how we could appoint the supervisor of elections. We want to find new ways of how we could make those serious appointments in our country. We don't like what's happening. And we want a new order. And under a unity government, that is what you will see, a new order of how things are done in this country.
Take a doctor and make him leader. And now the doctor playing dictator. Want to pick and choose.
Doctor, you're done. Time for a new dispensation. Our country demands that. Future generation demands that. And that is why we say that we want to have a new way of life. This isn't anything personal. This is out of love for country, for love for our people. We want a new way. This country belongs to all of us. We want to see it going good. That is the Labour Party motto, that the old Labour Party, the Ratchet Labour Party. That is the party I joined. That is the party I was committed to. That is what I believe we were committed to when we got into government. All that has changed, and therefore we have to change our ways. And so, these are serious times. These are challenging times. We want to offer you a new way, a different way, an improved way for all of us in this country. We want to see ourselves going together as a family. We want to see ourselves moving together in unity. We want to get away from the past hurts and difficulties. Who was wrong in the past has nothing to do with what we must do in the future. We must leave the past behind us and move forward. People are suffering too much. We have to address the problem of the VAT. We have to address the problem of the high electricity rate. We have to address the problem of unemployment. We have to address the problem of wages, minimum wages in this country. We have to address those things. But we believe that those things will be addressed collectively under a unity government. Where we will be working all for one and one for all. That is what this demands. And so, we have come tonight to commit ourselves to that task. We have come tonight from constituency number 3 and from all the other constituencies around the country to be here with Dr. Timothy Harris to support that. And so, as I close, I want to say to Timothy tonight what Paul said to Timothy. Because I believe that Timothy was prepared for such a time as this. He was prepared for such a time as this. And I want to give him my support in terms of making this contribution to take this country forward. And so I want to say to him, as I close, there has never been the slightest doubt in my mind that the God who started this great work in you would keep you at it and bring it to a flourishing finish. And so I close by asking the people in constituency number 7 to make sure that after the next election, it will be Harris again. Good night and God bless you.